Good morning, everyone. Firstly, I would like to extend my appreciation to you and your professionalism and all the well wishes from yourselves and your organizations over the last week. It's very heartwarming. With that said, I'll take any questions.
So overall, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm still a little banged up, particularly in my chest and rib area, but I'm doing well. I went to the doctors on Friday, my primary care, said you're going to be sore for a while, and I've been back to work. So
Sure.
Thank you.
Are you able to speak about the nature of the injuries?
It's essentially, bruised ribs.
You obviously gone through a lot of training. You get into a situation like that, what kicks in? Is it your instinct? Is it the training? I mean, personally, it's obviously affected you.
I think it's a lot of everything. It's a lot of what your mental state is, on a day-to-day basis. It's certainly training, and in my case, I wanted to win. I wanted to survive, so that also took hold.
Can you talk about what was going through, as much as you can, what was going through your mind in those moments when you first realized, okay, this is something that I need to defend myself?
When we first started, when we first had contact with each other, I knew right away he was stronger than I was, but I felt like I could outcondition him. So my strategy very early on was to buy time. I was able to radio for help. I had no idea that Mr. Harzinski and his partner from the newspaper were going to be going through, but I did know from where I was, the Attica Police Department was fairly close. I knew where one of our deputies were, one of our sergeants were at the time, and he was fairly close as well. So my whole mindset was to buy time.
Sheriff, a lot of people have been sending well wishes to you throughout this. Everybody in the community has been thinking of you. What's your response to what you've seen from friends and neighbors?
Again, it's very heartwarming. It instills, why I like this community and why I love Wyoming County so much. Everybody's been more than gracious and respectful at the same time. So I couldn't be, more proud of where I live and where I work here in Wyoming County.
What's life like been in the last 6 days as far as your outlook, coming to work, being with your family, since this? The trooper talked about how this is going to change your life. How's it done that?
You definitely reflect and remember what's important in life, particularly your family, your friends, and it is something that I think about and on a regular basis.
Are deputies trained in hand-to-hand combat?
We all take defensive tactics, and we update that on a yearly basis.
Sheriff, you're so accustomed to coming to the aid of others. What was it like to be the one in you? What was it like to be in that position?
That's the interesting part of it, is when this all started, that's exactly what I thought I was doing. I thought, to this day, I would bet a paycheck that it was going to be a medical emergency that was what was going on. That was my mindset when this whole thing started, and it quickly changed. And it is different, being on the other end of it. But it also, I think, makes you more compassionate to what other people have gone through, and I think it'll make me a better person.
To the two delivery drivers and the off-duty trooper that helped you, do you have a message for them?
Of course, they have my most sincere thank you. I'm very, very grateful that Mr. Harzinski stopped. And I looked over at the car and I said, "Help, help, help." I never saw him get out. And then all of a sudden, he was able to get Mr. Hall off me. That's all I needed, was that little change in dynamic, and it worked out. So, and Trooper Ensminger just happened to be going through at that time, and between the two of us, we were able to get him handcuffed and get him into custody. Again, very thankful that he stopped as well.
You talked about
What's the message to people who often don't want to get involved?
I think, with what's going on, locally, statewide, nationally. I think the community as a whole, in regards to public safety, needs to get involved in one way, shape, or form. I think that's the only way that that we can really make a difference and improve our public safety.
You talked about playing long game, basically outlasting your attacker. Did you make any other decisions in the middle of this?
No, no.
Sheriff Rudolph, I didn't know this about you, but back in 2006, you were involved in another incident during a standoff in Bennington. As much as you feel comfortable, can you explain what happened then, and I guess how that's changed you coming to work every day? To the second incident you've been involved in, and that must have been another, has changed your perspective a little.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know, in 2006, myself and now Deputy Andy Houghton were shot responding to a welfare call. And again, I think that made me a better person, and it made me a better law enforcement officer and official, because when you've been on the other side of that, you really, really can empathize with what people go through.
Sheriff, could you go through what happened that morning? From when you were driving to work, what you saw, how it all unfolded?
I originally just thought somebody was in a hurry on their way to work, essentially, tailgating me, but there was some oncoming traffic and couldn't get around me, and I wasn't going particularly fast. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And then the hazard lights came on, and then I thought, well, this is likely a medical call, or maybe a medical call, and we're on 238. We're heading towards Warsaw. There's a hospital in Warsaw, and then the person started frantically flashing his high beams at me, which at that point, once I was in somewhat of a safer position road-wise, I did pull over, and then he pulled ahead of me, and before I even knew it, he was at my door.
Were you able to get out of the car?
Yes, I was, and at the same time, he put his hands on me, and we were essentially grappling from there.
And was he saying anything to you at the time?
He was saying, something along the lines of, you know who I am, you're something to do with his family, from protecting him from his family. Once he started that, I recognized him. I knew who I was dealing with at that point.
And did he front you?
Yes.
With the knife?
Yes.
And where was your gun at this point? Did he try to get a hold of the gun?
He did. It was in my holster. He was definitely grabbing for my gun.
Was it on? Did he hit it?
No.
When you recognized who he was, what was the thought that you had?
I knew, then that this was going to be very, very serious, that this was obviously planned, and I was targeted. So I took it very, very seriously once I knew who I was dealing with.
How far from your house was it?
About 2 miles.
Oh, so you just got on the road.
Yes.
Still dark.
Yes.
Were you in a marked car or your own personal car?
No, I was in a county car, but I drive a black, unmarked Ford Taurus.
Sir, when he attempted to reach for your firearm and was not able to get it, what happened to the firearm?
I don't want to get into specifics, but he was not able to get the firearm.
What advice can you give to deputies, others, having gone through this? Is there something you've learned that you can pass along to them?
It's tough because you can't be hyper vigilant. Everybody's mind and body needs a break when you do this job. But I think you always have to have in the back of your mind that something like this can happen.
When you recognized who it was and that this was going to be serious, does that speak to any history that you had specifically with the family as a sheriff or as a deputy or as a citizen of this community?
I didn't have any history with the family. I just recognized him. He did come to the office the day before, and that's how I recognized him.
In regards to the pistol permit he applied for?
Yes.
And that was denied?
No, it hadn't been to that stage. It was still in the investigatory stage.
Did you ever stop to think about the timing of all this? It's 6:30 in the morning, you're on a country road, there's very few houses there, and two delivery men, newspaper delivery men, just happened to be there.
Yeah, you talk about lucky. No question, and don't think that that scenario hasn't run through my mind, quite a bit over the last 6 days. 238 is a traveled road, but it is Wyoming County. We are rural, so it's not traveled heavily, and I'm just very grateful that the timing worked out.
Will it change how you walk into the office every day? I mean, in terms of being targeted. I bet it happens often, but does it change your perspective in any other way?
I can tell you that over the last 6 days, again, I think because of the incident, I am a little more hyper-vigilant right now, but I'm definitely looking at my surroundings a lot differently.
You returned to work pretty quickly after this happened, too.
Yeah, I'm not one to let a lot of grass grow under my feet, and I would just soon be here with my coworkers.
Any fear?
I think when you do this job, you always have some element of fear. Okay. Thank you very much for being here. Again, I want to relay my appreciation for the respect and the courtesy that you've all given me. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank
you.
you very much.